In this video, we're going to talk about the shocking twist that changes everything for Medieval Spawn. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Medieval Spawn, issue number 4, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in Medieval Spawn, Abraxas has been freed and the Order has them surrounded. There is nothing else to do but to fight your way out of it. But we get a little flashback where someone was asking Medieval Spawn, hey, Richard was asking again. So what was he asking? He was asking what you look like under that mask and how come you never remove your helmet. And Medieval Spawn asked his right-hand man, literally on his right-hand side, what did you say? That you were such an ugly baby, your mother decided to spare the rest of us from having to look at your ugly ass. He didn't say it like that, but kind of like that. So Medieval Spawn was like, you should have told him though, John, he will eventually find out. Maybe, but not now. And I think what he's talking about is in the beginning of the issue, Richard had his town annihilated and his family death ended by all these demons. So if Medieval Spawn looks like a demon under there, which I'm sure he does, it's gonna really conflict with this guy. So Medieval Spawn tells him he's been through enough, alright? This Richard guy, from the beginning of issue number 1. During our time together, I had countless opportunities to tell Richard the truth about who I really was. I never did, and I'm still paying the price for that. So Abraxas goes back into looking at all the people like, so which one of you shall be my host? We're continuing off exactly where we left off in the last issue. He's like, the Hellspawn, you gonna give me here or what? Or the Black Warlock. You'll get neither, demon. This guy puts a spell up, and I can't remember his name from the previous issue. And he tells John to stay close. Medieval Spawn, it can't touch us if it's inside the flame circle. And Abraxas is like, okay, I will pick another. There are plenty of other puppets to choose from. Enough! Destroy the demon! That's Brother Dempster right there. So Abraxas is like, okay, thank you for volunteering. So he gets possessed. These guys are like, oh no, the Order has to get together. Like, nah, we have to fight now. So Brother Dempster's like, a holy man. Now he ain't Brother Dempster no more. That is Abraxas possessing him. This will do for now. Brother Dempster is lost to us men. Show the creature no mercy. They go in, they throw swords, and it's a fight right there. And I remember that guy's name, Bastian, right there. That's who Medieval Spawn sought the help of in the last issue. So Bastian tells Medieval Spawn it will take a short time to rebuild the binding spell and require my full attention. So keep everyone away from me and don't step outside the circle or Abraxas will be able to possess you. And one of the guys goes up to Medieval Spawn like ready to throw hands and attack. But Medieval Spawn's like, I'm not playing that right now. Do your work, Bastian. Richard and I will stand guard. And Medieval Spawn's like, where the heck is Richard? Well, we don't know yet, but Abraxas is going to work on these fools. And now they're like, okay, the Order is like, let's find the Wailing Woman and wake her. We need her right now. And the other guy's like, I'm not sure how stable that cave is. Now, we need to stop the demon. And the guy, before the guy can agree to get the Wailing Girl, well, his head gets cut off. And Abraxas is like, I can see into your cleric minds. You humans think you're so important, but I know the truth about your Order. I will enjoy your elimination. Die! Richard goes right there and attacks Abraxas from behind. You kill my family? Come on with it. And Abraxas just rubbing salt to his wounds right there, telling him you're an orphan boy, aren't you? Come on then. But Bastian tells Medieval Spawn to stay where you are, John. We'll lose the boy if Abraxas possesses either of us. And Abraxas and Richard keep going at each other. Abraxas lands a pretty painful blow on Richard. And Medieval Spawn knows it, so he runs. And Bastian's like, Medieval Spawn, Jon of York, just don't. We had a plan. Stay there. And Abraxas rubs it in his face like, let's reunite you with your family now. May God spite you. What? And before this guy tells Richard to run and leave here and get out of here, Abraxas just swings at the sword and delivers a fatal blow to him. So now Medieval Spawn goes in, Abraxas, turn and face me. And Abraxas like, finally, I was wondering how long it would take you to crawl out of your hiding place. So Medieval Spawn goes into his monologue. I knew the risks that confronting Abraxas would lead to, but the boy was under my watch. It was my duty to protect him. I have been possessed before, so I let the creature take me. When it happens, it is not a painful experience, simply an absence of anything. Mere moments will pass in darkness. That was a burp. So now that Medieval Spawn just got possessed and he wakes up, and before he is plunged back into the waking world to discover how much time has lapsed and what carnage took place while he slept, it is knowledge that creates the most pain in me. And Richard holds the rat where Abraxas is trapped in. But Bastian looks at Jon and he's like, "Are you back with us?" He's like, "I am." "Good. Then we can finally draw a line under this wretched matter. As I slept," says Medieval Spawn, "what has passed? Well, see for yourself. All this sacrifice, all this violence, everyone is vitally dismembered. Look around you." So Medieval Spawn's like, "Where is Richard and that rat you're doing?" Yeah, Abraxas is trapped in there right now. Richard finally got the spell and transferred Abraxas into that rat. And Bastian's like, "About that." And Medieval Spawn sees Richard over there and asks him if he's okay. "Stand back, you monster, before I split you in two." And Medieval Spawn's like, "Richard, put your weapon down, son. I should have killed you the moment we met." And Medieval Spawn has to defend himself, and centuries have passed since that day. But he can still recall the look in that boy's eyes, the fear, the betrayal, and the hatred. He was lost, and I just hadn't realized it yet. Now, this is where Medieval Spawn's talking about in the beginning of issue number 1 that he should have ended the boy's life, meaning Richard, right when he killed him and where he stand. But now he regrets it. Hopefully, we get to find out why. But now, one of the members of the Order is like, "The lad is under my protection now, demon. He moves. Take him down, Hagar." This is the Wailing Woman, and her wails begin collapse in the cave. So as the cave collapses, Medieval Spawn tells Richard, "We need to leave before we're buried alive." And Richard's like, "I answer to no one. I'm done with your lies." "I'm offering help," says Medieval Spawn, "and you need it now." But his pleas came too late. And the cave comes down, and Medieval Spawn is trying to use his necroplasm to keep the cave from not collapsing on them. But he's not sure if it's going to be enough. But in retrospect, he should have asked Bastian for help earlier. "It's all collapsing, Bastian. I can hold it. You are last hope." And Bastian's like, "I can construct a spell, but I need time. Can you give me that time?" And Medieval Spawn's like, "Damn, bro, I'll try, but for the sake of our lives, I'll give it a go." And Bastian's like, "I just need a few more seconds." So as strained, all of Medieval Spawn could think of was Richard. How senseless it was for him to lose Richard. Bastian had been right. Medieval Spawn had been a fool, naively hoping that the day could be avoided. That Richard's similarity to his own son had blinded me, and his actions made me fearful of rejection. I guess he's talking about now that Richard finds out that he's actually a demon, he's associating with how he lost his family in the beginning of issue number 1. And in years to come, so many others would suffer greatly for that mistake. I don't know how long Bastian and I struggled and survived in that created. And Medieval Spawn continues his monologue. "I don't know how long Bastian and I struggled, then survived in that cave collapsing, but he lost track. It seemed an endless amount of time. So regardless, by the time we finally emerged, Richard and the Order were gone. He spent several weeks hunting for him, hoping he miraculously survived, meaning Richard, but to no avail, or so I thought. Years later, I did find Richard, but when we did cross paths, from that moment forward, it would be as enemies. And as time drifted, he slowly grew to become one of my greatest foes ever. But that is a story for another time." And that is the end of The Shocking Twist Changes Everything for Medieval Spawn. Now, why did I call it The Shocking Twist That Changes Everything? Look, I thought the issue was good. It had a lot of promise in the first 3 issues. I think this should have been longer so we get the conclusion of what happened with Richard and how did Richard become the enemy of Medieval Spawn. Not break it up into 2 parts. That's just my personal opinion. So, first 3 issues, great. This issue has started off great, and the ending, I just don't like it. Now we gotta wait to see what the hell they're talking about. And 3, yeah, you promised that Richard was his greatest foe and he should have killed him where he stand, but we're left with this unsatisfying conclusion in my opinion. But what you guys think of this comic book, comment below, let me know. And also link in the description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print rated comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Till the next upload.